Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. I'm your host, Peter Surs, and I have a very special guest today, Xavier Quintero. Did I say it right?
No, it's Xavier Quimbo.
What the fuck did I say? Quintero. Oh, that's a
Quintero,
pitcher.
where'd that come from?
There's a pitcher named that plays for the White Sox.
Okay, I am not a pitcher for the White Sox.
No, that's true. Kimbo. Why did I? Quimbo. Yeah, Xavier Quintero is a pitcher, or was a pitcher from the White Sox. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know how cute. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thanks for coming, man. When I started this podcast, we were talking before, but I initially had an idea of what I wanted to, and then as I've continued to do it, I've kind of developed a couple other motives behind it. So I thought I wanted to have you on as a great guest because you're probably, out of all the people that I've worked with and just kind of encountered in the fitness, you're one of the few people. I'll take that back. One of the few males in the industry that I actually have respect for. I mean, okay, I'll take that back. You're very knowledgeable, and I respect that. You're knowledgeable, passionate, just all those things. Like I can look and be like, okay, yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to be. I feel like some people kind of fake it, or some people aren't knowledgeable, or like you always were good. Okay, anyway, I'll get back into it. But Xavier is a fitness instructor, co-founder of Speed Play.
Yep.
Here in
Speed
LA,
Play.
which is the best HIIT training workout in Los Angeles. Maybe anywhere. Maybe.
Can you say that one more time?
The best HIIT training workout in Los Angeles. It is. I'm telling you. And I've done it. And you guys see me. If you guys follow me on social media, I'm working out all the time. I go to all the studios here in LA, across the country. I've done a lot. And some of it's like, okay, so really quick, let's explain to people that maybe don't know what HIIT training is.
Sure. First, I want to acknowledge that I love how you go all over the place and train. I don't think I've seen you not train.
I mean, I would
a
never
long
not
time.
do that.
Yeah,
No matter where I am. It doesn't
in-
matter.
It's in you. Good for you.
Yeah,
Kudos.
I can't, I've talked about this on the podcast, but, I have a standard of how I want to look, number one. I have a standard of how I want to feel. And just traveling a lot, and you can kind of attest to it too. It's not good for your body, whether you're driving all day long, whether you're flying, that's like the worst. So, just that kind of lifestyle and living out of a hotel room, just stuff like that. Like all these different variables can add up to, if you let them get to you, to unhealthy lifestyles. And so for me, it's like I'm gonna fight that. Like I'm not gonna let that happen to me.
Right
Especially,
on.
and then comedy, it's just hard anyway, and being on the road, and so it's one of the things that I do to maintain my mental health and physical health, for that matter. But it just helps me feel good and look good, and that's really all that,
Well, look
Thank
good
you.
for one. You're looking good, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. You
So
look good too.
I
You got
try.
good hair. We're gonna talk about your hair too later.
It takes me about 30 minutes in the morning.
Are you
to
serious?
fix. No. No, I got it to a science, maybe in the very beginning, but now I got the side part perfect.
How long
It's,
did it take you to do your hair?
I can get it done in about 10 minutes. 10
you guys
minutes.
don't
Blow
s-
dry it. The secret is you hold your head upside down, you blow dry it to shape, and then I use the
Upside down?
cheapest. Yeah, you put your head upside down.
So where are you holding the hair dryer?
All right, so as if you're looking between your legs, right? You put your head down.
That's what
Oh
I'm
my gosh,
thinking.
I'm putting it out there
Yeah.
to the world. We should do a video on this.
Oh, we should.
And then you blow dry it up, so you're upside down, looking between your knees, and you blow dry it up, and it shapes it. And all you need to do after that, because my hair is already naturally cut that way,
Uh-huh.
and after that, I use the cheapest hairspray out there, Suave.
You
It's a
put
plug for
hairspray in your
Suave.
hair?
Yeah.
Is it
Hairspray.
aerosol safe?
And I think so. I don't know. It's the cheapest hairspray out there, Suave. And
feel like
locks it in.
Aquanet.
It locks it in. You comb it a little bit, and then done.
No way.
So I got
So
it
like
to
you
a
could work
science.
out and you're, because I feel like I've never seen you not with perfectly coiffed hair.
I just booked a series of workout videos.
Uh-huh.
I did 11 workouts. I did 6 in one day. The hair was the same by the 6th workout.
Wow.
They had hair and makeup every time right before the workout. They're just like, I'm gonna go sit back down.
That's great. That's the best.
Swab.
Uh, but like I said, you're co-founder of the workout, and like I said, one of the things that I always love when like being in your class is that I could tell that you're passionate about fitness, which is I think it's important. You can kind of tell when people are faking it. as an instructor or as a trainer for that matter. But also, not only are you passionate, because there's a lot of people that are passionate about it, but maybe they don't have the knowledge that, they might, they should have, let's say. But you have both. I think you're one of the most knowledgeable people that I've met and worked with, but also one of the most passionate. So like, I think that just in that, that's a perfect combination. And that's why I think everyone loves, taking your class and
Thank you.
working out with you. And you do all these like events now and stuff where
Yeah. I absolutely live and breathe it, and I connect it to every aspect of my life. So, I'm not an actor. I'm not here to act. I'm
Right.
not here to do anything else other than
What are you trying to
to
say?
train and teach.
What's wrong with being an actor?
Not a, you know, as long as you're not a comedian.
The fuck those comedians.
But yeah, I live and breathe it. So I don't know where I started when really early at a young age where I just knew fell in love. I was smitten with movement,
Uh-huh.
and I just didn't want to stay in one place. So that throughout the years, I just wanted to keep moving. And it was a natural progression to go into health and fitness because I get to teach people how to move as well. And constantly my life is about movement as
Right. How were you like I don't know this about you. Were you like in sports as a kid growing up?
well. I started in martial arts.
Okay, cool.
So I love this story. I used to sneak out of my parents' house. I think I was about 5 or 6 years old
No kidding.
to walk to the park, and the park was 2 blocks away in mid city Los Angeles,
Uh-huh.
and I was 5 or 6. So
That's
two
crazy.
blocks is like
That's
a
huge.
journey to Mordor
For a 5-year-old?
for a 5 year
Yeah.
old. And I used to one of my earliest memories is I loved standing there and just watching whatever movement was going on because I just liked it. I saw people throwing a baseball, kicking a soccer ball around and swinging on the jungle gym, and it was just amazing with me. I didn't fully understand it, but I just liked watching it. And then one day I moved even deeper, another block, and I found this martial arts school. It was a Taekwondo school. And if you're not familiar with Taekwondo, it's a Korean martial
Is
arts.
that like taekwondo?
Taekwondo, yeah.
But you say taekwondo?
Taekwondo.
Is
my,
that
my style is saying it.
is that how you're supposed to say it? Taekwondo?
I'm not sure what the
I don't
correct
know either.
pronunciation.
I've always heard taekwondo, but I mean, I don't know.
Tomato.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's known for high kicks and really acrobatic
Right.
moves. So one day I had my nose pressed on the window of this school, and I was just watching these guys like superheroes. They would jump up in the air. It looked like they were suspended on wires. They would twist and kick. And my eyes were just this big. I loved it. Had my nose pressed when all of a sudden my mom comes up behind me and smacks me on top of the head.
Great.
Yeah, because she was pissed, of course.
'Cause you snuck
and
out?
if you know anything about Filipino parents,
Uh-huh.
they'll beat you up. They'll beat you
I
up as a
mean,
kid.
my parents are Mexican, kind of. My dad's not Mexican, but he thought he was. So, like, yeah, my dad would hit me all the time.
I think that's why I'm such a good boy now, or at least I can take the hits now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, the next day I was in that school, so they enrolled me into that school. So that was
that's
my
great.
first take at learning movement pattern, learning discipline.
So
know,
you
a
started taking
system.
taekwondo when you were 5?
Yeah,
That's
5
crazy.
or 6.
And you've been doing it.
And did Taekwondo, and from there I moved into so many different martial arts.
Uh-huh.
I went into Kung Fu Sansu at the time here in LA was
Okay.
huge. I did kickboxing. I went into Wushu, which is the Chinese form of martial arts. If you ever seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Uh-huh.
Wushu are those kind of movements, really long, really gorgeous, beautiful,
Uh-huh.
almost like a dance type movements. And I did that all throughout until I got into high school and college. And when I went into high school and college, I did the traditional sports.
Uh-huh.
I did basketball. I didn't play baseball. You're a big baseball fan, right?
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
I wish I did play baseball because basketball you had a cap. I'm 5'10",
Right.
160 pounds. If you're not 6'5", 7 foot tall with a 7 foot wingspan, it's
Right.
hard to advance
Very
in
few,
basketball.
yeah.
Baseball seems to be
Yeah, baseball is weird because like it's still like I think I mean I guess the same as basketball too, but I feel like when you watch it on TV, you can't really get an appreciation about how big these guys are. But like baseball players nowadays, especially, I mean, I feel like athletes and professional athletes in general are a lot bigger than you think they are. But there are more smaller like guys that can be successful in baseball than like in basketball for sure.
Yeah.
Jose Altuve is the second baseman for the Astros, and when he's healthy, like top 5 player, and he's like maybe he's listed at 5'6", but I don't even think he's that tall. Like he's tiny, and like I have a buddy that he works for ESPN in Houston, but he's a comic also, and so we had like a bet when the Dodgers and the Astros were in the world. Anyway, one of the things was like I appreciate I love watching baseball. But like I've always kind of been like, oh well, like I didn't make it because I wasn't big enough, kind of thing. And then you see this guy, and he's like 5'5", and he's hitting like 25, 30 home runs, one of the best players in baseball. You're like, okay, well, I just wasn't good enough, and you have to come to that realization. But
Doing it for all the 5'5"ers.
yeah, exactly. Like he's so little, but like he's just so powerful, and it's just he's kind of an anomaly. Like he's really little, but like Justin Turner, who plays for the Dodgers, one of our better players, and he's got to be maybe 5'10", and he can still hit like 25, 30 home runs. And, so Kike Hernandez, same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you could be a little bit smaller and play baseball.
Yeah. I mean, you start with what you got, what the cards are dealt, and
Yeah.
then you do what you can.
You work.
Yeah, you work. So high school and college, I played the traditional sports. And then I went into college thinking I would be a computer programmer because my dad was in computer science.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, this is the way I got from the Philippines to migrate here to have a better life for you guys. You should be a computer science major.
Ugh.
So I kid you not.
That sounds so boring.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was there for a week. I remember sitting, it was a week into the semester, first semester, in front of a computer, and I was like, fuck this. I couldn't sit longer than 20 minutes. It just doesn't feel good.
Right.
I feel like we should be doing a squat hold
I know,
now,
right?
or doing this on a stand-up desk. But I just didn't want to stay in one place. It didn't feel good in the hips. It didn't feel good for my soul,
Yeah.
my mentality, and all of that. And so I dropped out of college pretty quickly, and not knowing what to do, I said, hey, the stunt industry looks kind of cool.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So and then I fell into the stunt industry, and so
How do you fall into the stunt industry? That's
Well,
not something you fall into.
you need a skill. You need a
Yeah.
skill, and you need to know
And
some
you have
the right
martial art
people.
experience.
So martial arts was my way into the stunt
Uh-huh.
industry. When I was at the National Wushu Training Center, one of the coaches there got booked to be the stunt coordinator for a very small student film. Nothing crazy.
Uh-huh.
There was no pay, but he was looking for a couple of stunt players to do a fight scene. And he was like, "Hey, you got some skills. Do you want to just try this out? I can't pay you, but you'll get some cool footage." And I was like, "Sure." Went on set. We practiced the scene. We were at a school. We did 1-2 punch. I hit the ground, and then I fell in love with it. I was like, you can eventually turn this into a career. Like,
Right.
some players are getting paid really well to play bad guys, to play action heroes,
Right.
to jump around, and more importantly, to move. And so I really hustled, and I tried to meet the right people, and then I got into the stunt game, and I became a Hollywood stuntman for about 7 years.
That's crazy. So you were like 18 when you started being a stunt person.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And that's like, I mean, I think we don't have to discuss it completely, but like stunt people get paid really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get to the Screen Actors Guild like any
Right.
actor first,
Right, right, right.
right? And when you cross that line, then you get paid really well. And the residual, I'm still getting like these dollar checks,
Yeah.
$1.10
Me too. I
checks
still
from
get
like
stuff
TV
every once in a
shows
while. Yeah.
that I was in. And like, I'm not an actor. I'm not like the face of it. I was behind
Right.
a mask or something like that. And it's funny every time you get that. But I'm like, I'll take $1.10.
Yeah, of course. But like as an 18 to 25-year-old to have a career in stunt, like it's pretty good money. And then you're doing something. I mean, I'm sure I can imagine you could tell us it's like super hard work, obviously, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot. And it really formed my identity, and maybe even more importantly, it formed my outlook on how I want to be paid and generate revenue. It made me hustle, because if you know anything about getting into the stunt industry, it was hard. You had to hustle, you had to run. You know about hustle.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to go to these sets. You got to find out where these stunt coordinators are. You got to have your portfolio. You got to have a video ready to go. You got to have your headshot ready to rock. And then you have to find ways to sneak in, meet the right people, and hopefully get a
Right.
job. And then when you get that job, do an amazing job so then they can keep inviting you. And then once you're in a good stunt group, then you're in. They keep calling you for a bunch of cool stuff. And it formulated the way I wanted to live my life because I hated the monotony of stuff. Like when you go into a scene or a movie, a film set, it's always different. It's a different place, even though it may be the same type scene, the same type fall. It's a whole different environment, and it kept me engaged and excited about stuff. I never wanted to do something so monotonous.
Okay. What is it? What's like the something that we would have seen that you're like, that was me?
Well, I didn't get into the very big stuff, but there's a TV show called Kamen Rider, and it was created by the guys that did Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
And I was actually a Power Ranger. Disney hired me to travel around the U.S. to do shows. So that was a lot of fun. So I was
hilarious.
Yeah, I would jump around, do
You were
a
a
flip,
Power
and then
Ranger?
pose like a Power Ranger.
Which one were you?
Well, because they could mix us up inside. I played the black. I played the red.
Okay.
Anything but the Pink Ranger.
Right. Why not pink?
You know, she had to be shorter,
Oh, okay.
or it could have been
Disney's like that. I remember.
You didn't have to. You couldn't have a bulge. You had to wear tights, so you couldn't have a bulge in places, if you know what I mean.
I remember a Disney job that I didn't get because I was too tall and too muscular, and I was so mad
Aw.
because it was down. It was down to. This is. Do you remember? Oh God, they did like a futuristic version of Treasure Island. I think it was still. I think they called it Treasure Planet, but don't quote me
Okay.
on this. But there was like a traveling live show, and it was down to me and two guys, or me and it was me and one other guy, and I'm sitting there in the this has got to be, oh God, like 2001 or two, and like I'm in really good shape, obviously, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, oh, I'm cuter than this dude, so like I'm gonna get this role, and I'm kind of like in a little bit better shape than him. So when we finally got into the thing, they were like, oh, they wanted us to be 5'9" and no more than 165, and those are my like exact measurements. But I'm like, I mean, I'm not huge, but compared to this guy, I was a much more muscular 165 than he was. So they're like, yeah, you're too tall and too muscular. I'm like, never in my life am I going to be too tall or too muscular for like a job. But it's whatever. I was so mad because like those traveling shows too, like especially
They're
like
fun.
it's fun. I mean, especially like I think at certain times of your life, stuff like that is great. And like for me, it's just like with comedy, it's like I could be getting paid $25 or $100 or whatever. It's like I'm getting paid to tell jokes, and there's nothing better than that. So like if you love what you're doing, there's nothing better than that, no matter what it is, you know. And so same thing with with stunts or like traveling, doing that. Now like in fitness, like you love it, so it's like it's not like I love my job because it doesn't matter how much I'm getting paid because I love it.
Yeah.
You know?
And you would go through all of this shit because it gets hard at any level with any career.
Of course.
Right. And so the later part of my stunt career is when I actually crossed over to health and fitness. 7 years, I started noticing the older stunt people. They were pretty banged up because it's like any sport. You can only take so many hits.
Right.
You'll break a bone for sure. And I think I valued health and fitness. And the later part of my career, I started to train a couple of actors that have never thrown a punch to do an action sequence for this movie. And if you ever seen anybody that hasn't thrown a punch, it looks horrible. It looks
for
horrible
sure.
on screen. So
Yeah.
I had to really break down the pattern. Like, hey, you got to set your feet this way first. That's your foundation. You got to twist your hip this way. No, not like that. Like this. Rotate at the waist and then extend the arm this way. And, make your fist look like this and things like that. And then after you teach them to look good hitting a punch, then you got to teach them how to do it and not hurt the other stunt people, right? Because you have to be able to either miss them or stop right before a real impact. And I fell in love with that one-on-one interaction. So I thought I liked deconstructing movement. And so I thought personal training or something in the training field would be good. So then I decided to go and get my personal training cert. And did that for 15 years before I was trying to think about the next move, and the next move was to be a little bit bigger than myself, was to start a fitness studio, and so started Speed Play in 2015.
Right.
Just that's four years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so really quick, going to rewind, just because I thought of it while you were talking. You've seen Rocky?
Yeah.
Have you seen it recently?
The recent
No, like
ones?
just have you watched Rocky, the original
No, it's
Rocky, like
been a minute.
recently? So one of the things that, because my girlfriend had never seen it because she's 10 years younger than me, because that's how I roll. Uh, so I wanted to, because we went to go see
So
Creed.
is she 10?
She's, I wish.
'Cause you look
No,
like
I
you're in
don't
your
wish.
20s.
I don't wish. I wouldn't be attracted to a 10-year-old. What I meant was, never mind. Oh, God damn it. I'm not a pedophile. I just like dating younger women that are legal. I do have I'm sorry, Xavier. I've always had a rule, and the rule is I would never date a girl that was born after 1992. Why is that, Peter? Because 1992 is the year that I started masturbating. So I just figured that if I was old enough to create a person, or yeah, then I couldn't be with them. So there we go. Anyway,
You got out of that one. That was good.
um,
My man over here is clapping in the
but
background.
I was what we saw Creed, and then she didn't realize that it was
Sick.
like a sequel. And I was like, "You haven't seen Rocky? Like, are you serious?" So we went and watched Rocky, and like the first Rocky, you're watching the fight scene, and it's so bad. Like, it does not look like he doesn't touch him at all. Like, I mean, it's not even close. Like, obviously, as a behind the scenes, you get like, oh, of course they're not hitting each other, but a lot nowadays, like, it looks super real. But
Yeah.
like in '76 or '77, whenever Rocky, like, it was really bad. And then they got progressively better. But then for some reason, I think Rocky 3, is that when he fought Mr. T? Yeah. They started adding sound effects, and it sounds so bad. And then you have it combined with even though the fight scenes were a little bit better, it still did not look real. But you hear these like sound effect punches, and you're like, oh God. But like then like I said, over the years we've
We've
improved.
gone a long way,
Yeah, a long way.
skill wise,
But yeah,
and
it was just funny watching that.
but we
Uh,
were so I remember being so invested in the story of it all, and
Oh,
like
it's a
it was
great
like
story.
you're like hanging on a limb per one punch, and it was like action sequence. Like recently saw John Wick 3,
right.
right? And the action sequences are amazing. There's so much stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
It's all action to break that apart, and then like you think about the emotion that one punch at a time in Rocky was at that final fight.
Yeah.
It's story,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
it's definitely the story. It's I didn't even realize at the time, but like looking back, it's like it's mainly a love story that has boxing in it,
Yeah.
and it's just really weird because the times are changing and like the movie's different now. But like even still, like when I'm running and I'm like getting tired, I have like a thing where I'll automatically put and it'll go on to the theme. The Gonna Fly Now. It's like dun 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 dun, dun, like, and it pumps me up, dude. And I'm like, yeah, because I get it. I grew up in the hood. Like, I can understand a rags to riches story. Like, of course.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if you know
for
the
sure.
story, but just really quick, like, he was so broke when he wrote Rocky. That was kind of like his motivation. He was tired of like getting cast. Like, he had little roles like as like the goon and this and that, but no one was going to give him like a lead role. So he wrote it for himself. But he was so broke that right before he ended up selling the script, um, he sold his dog.
Mm.
Like, he had a dog and he sold it for like, don't quote me on this, but like $200 or something, because he needed them. This is like in the '70s, so that was a lot of money. And then like a few weeks later, he sold Rocky. And one of the reasons why he wasn't selling it is because no one wanted to buy it, because in order to buy it, he had to be the star. And everyone was like, yeah, we're not going to let you be the star. And he kept fighting for it. And then finally he sold it for a very small amount of money. I want to say like $100,000 or something. But like that was the contingencies, that he had to be in it. So then he went and found the guy that he sold his dog to. And then the guy sold him the dog for $1,000. His own dog that he had sold him like a few weeks earlier for 200. And it's just like a crazy story. And it's just like, there's a lot of parallels in the movie to his actual life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's pretty inspiring, I think. I like stuff like that.
Right
Uh,
on.
but then you started. We're 2015, and you decided to start Speed Play.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Well, I started with my business partner, Ryan Pendon. He owned a clinic that
Right.
did chiropractic and rehab training.
Uh-huh.
And so I was working at that clinic at the time.
Like
and
physical therapy.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So someone that had injured a shoulder or anything would come in there, and then I would help them strengthen back to normal. And that's where I really gained a lot of my skills as training. So I started as a rehab trainer, went into your normal, muscle building, fat loss, all of that stuff, specific trainer, and then into group fitness as well. But I was looking into something that was bigger than myself because I thought that in order to have a real business, and I felt like I had a real business, a personal training business, which I blew up. I was seeing maybe 70 sessions. I got to a point 70 sessions a week
Oh
as a
wow,
personal trainer. So I was
that's
balling.
a lot, but
It's-
also I feel like too much.
yeah, I think it was too much.
That's like, I mean, that's like more than 10 hours. That's like 10 hours a day almost.
Oh man,
As
yeah,
a
I
as a
was booked
trainer, because
as a trainer.
yeah,
Yeah, and I was
that's
booked. And I love telling the story because when I built that business, I started and to put a place of where we are, it's in downtown LA next to Staples Center, so it's not a cheap area.
right.
It's in the district of South Park, so it's a pretty affluent area in downtown. And I got an apartment across the street from the clinic and across the street from where Speed Play is now.
Uh-huh.
And so I started the smallest unit in that apartment. And as I built my personal training business, I ended up getting the biggest unit in the apartment facing Staples
Look
Center.
at you
So beautiful
flexing right
view.
now.
Yeah, I am flexing underneath that. I have a leather jacket on,
Yeah.
busting out the seams. And I love telling this story because I remember looking out at 6 a.m. when there's nothing going on, and I felt like I was a little bit empty. I was like, I needed to get into something different. I needed something new.
Okay.
And I knew I had to create a system, a real business where I can teach other people a system to be able to do. So that's when I was like, I got to create something, and Speed Play's idea just started to formulate.
Uh-huh.
And when I started Speed Play, to make ends meet, I kept moving back down in apartments back to the smallest apartment
Oh wow.
right now. But my idea of success has changed. Like can never be more happier having this thing that's an animal of its own, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Speed Play,
You sacrificed basically to start this thing that you were passionate about.
sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of people in comedy and whatever, like things that like I do. I same thing, like sacrifice a lot because you see, okay, yeah, like right now I'm stepping back because I know in the future, like this is gonna pay off these sacrifices I'm making now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to keep telling yourself that because this is tough, and you've got to love it. So I love training, I love teaching, and I fell in love with group fitness. So even though shit gets tough, it gets hard.
By the
I
way, you've cussed twice on this podcast, and I love it because I don't think I've ever heard you cuss.
No, I'm pretty professional when I'm when
This
I'm
is
out in
great.
classes.
I get people to open up on this podcast. Ari was the
You
same
get
way.
the
I
real,
was
you
like,
get the real X.
I was like, oh, Ari, your shoes cut. She's like, the yoga instructor.
Yeah.
And she was cussing. I was like, I've never heard this side of you before. This is great.
Yeah. So
All the sponsors are gonna back out.
so we opened up the space. It was just $50,000 from both of us. So that's about the money that I wanted to put into a down payment into a condo in downtown LA. So instead of getting a condo, I said, hey, I'm just gonna throw my chips in.
Wow.
And so not knowing exactly the system, just knowing the people that I was always around, I created our version of high intensity interval training, right?
Right.
So the people that were around us were movers and shakers. There were doctors, mothers and fathers that had stuff to do. People in LA, especially in downtown,
Yeah, downtowns I
have
feel
stuff to
like
do.
definitely a different. Especially if you live down, even if you work downtown for that matter, like you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So time, if you know anything about HIIT training, you can make the time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15
Right.
minutes, or a 50-minute class like we do have at Speed Play. You can create a really good workout with the protocol of high intensity interval training.
That's what HIIT stands for. High
That's what
intensity interval training.
Yeah. You want to get into the science of HIIT?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
The reason why
because
said
I
HIIT.
feel like obviously we're in LA, but if you're listening, if you're in big cities, that's kind of like the thing. Like everyone knows that HIIT training is great, but I think not everybody knows why. Like it's not just about, all right, we're just gonna get your heart rate up really. Like there's science actually behind it.
I'm so happy you said that because studios now, you think you just throw 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises in
Don't like that.
is HIIT training, and
Yeah.
people associate that with HIIT. They forget what HIIT really is, and it's all about effort. So if you have never done a HIIT workout before, let me explain how it feels. Right? When you go all out for say 20, 30 seconds, that's something that you can't sustain longer than that. Your muscles start to get tight,
Right.
right? You run out of breath,
Your heart rate gets really high
your
and you get
heart rate gets
scared.
really
You're like,
high. Yeah, stuff starts to shut down. That's the high intensity that you should be trying to hit. When that happens, the reason why your muscles get so tight is that you builds lactic acid, and that produces the tightness and the pain, right? When you get out of breath, that means all the oxygen stores within your body are depleted. So when you get to that point that's outside of the comfort zone, the magic happens, right? Your body starts to figure out a way to be able to gain and keep more oxygen molecules within the body and to be able to not get as tight the next time you work out. So when HIIT training came about, I think the most popular form of HIIT training was
for like Tabata back in the day
Tabata.
was like the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So if you know anything about Tabata, it was
2 to 1.
once upon a time, back in 1996, Dr. Izumi Tabata took a team and did a study. He did a study. So he got one group of athletes to do moderate training, and it was 1 hour a day for 5 days a week for 6 weeks. And then he took another group of athletes. I think they were speed skaters. Another group of athletes trained 4 days a week, 4 minutes a day, for the same 6 weeks, right, at a high intensity level. So group A did a moderate level for an hour. So think you're on a treadmill for 60 minutes, something that you can sustain all the way
Right.
throughout.
Or like
It's not a walk. It's not a hard sprint, right? You're able to sustain it. Um, group Group B, or the second group, did a protocol of 20 seconds on, all out effort, 10 seconds rest for 8 total rounds. So that's about 4 minutes.
Right.
The result was that Group A grew or got better aerobically,
Uh-huh.
which is cardiovascular, your
Right.
cardiovascular system, uh, non-existent anaerobically, which is your muscle system.
They gain no muscle.
Yeah, yeah, because they weren't pushing it hard enough. Group B did even better aerobically, less
Right.
time compared to the hour, less days,
Mm-hmm.
killed them aerobically, and 25 to 30% anaerobically in muscle. And that just shows you that within that
4
short amount of
minutes.
time, yeah,
That's crazy.
if you go hard, the benefits are wild. So that's why Tabata, other than the studies, it was really studied.
Yeah.
It was scientifically proven. Uh, in a short amount of time, you can get more benefits. You can maximize your time than doing the steady state
Right.
cardio. So that's why I think that's when high intensity interval training started to get really popular, and then it started to lose its way. So it's
That was the
20.
start.
You gotta be able to push all out hard. I'm talking about
Like sprinting.
yeah,
But like
something's
your
chasing
version
you.
of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, a
What-
rabid dog chasing you, sprint and then recover, and then do that repeatedly
Right.
for a cycle. And so high intensity interval training had lost its way because they just think it's just a bunch of exercise put together.
Right. A bunch of hard exercises. And it's like, no, kind of the idea too, I feel like, is you're getting your heart rate up really high. And then in those rest intervals, right when your heart rate starts to slow down, you get back to that intensity. So you're tricking your heart rate into staying really high, even though you're actually not operating at those high intensities the whole time.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And so that's where you get that, during the workout, you're maximizing your calorie burn, but also post workout and your EPOC, which we probably won't get into.
yeah.
That's
Your excess. That's what happens. So like when you deplete your oxygen because
Right.
you go hardcore, your body works extra. It's an afterburn. It works even more to regain all of that oxygen back. So I mean, that's up to 24 hours. It's working on
Right.
overdrive. That's the afterburn. That's excess post oxygen consumption, EPOC. And so that's why yeah, smart, right? The benefit, yeah, the benefits are wild for high intensity interval training, but it's got to be done correct.
correct. And that's what I love about speed. And that's why I say it's the best, because there's there's just it's a great workout, but there's also the science behind it. It's not just we're gonna have you guys do like he said, 10 exercises and they're hard, so we're gonna do them. Like there's a science as
Yeah.
to why we're doing it, why we're doing it this way, why we're putting them in this order, and so forth.
Absolutely. So, like in speed play, for example, our magic number and hit training. That's why I love watching your videos. If you say you don't have time to work
Oh,
out,
yeah, this is what I want to get into for
you don't
sure.
have time to work out. It's
Yeah.
just I'm gonna cuss again. That's
Go ahead,
a bunch
please.
of bullshit.
3 times Xavier cuss on the podcast today.
Because whether you have 4 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes is enough for high intensity interval
Yeah.
training. And our magic number at speed play is 4 sections by 9. So that's about 36 minutes. 9 minutes going hard and you get a break and then you move on to the next. But within that time you can really get a good workout, regardless of what's around you, what modality you have, what gym you're in, whether you're at a hotel room with nothing, with a pillow and a bed. You can still get a good workout. You just
can
have
work
to
out with a pillow.
You can work out with a pillow, yeah.
I haven't seen you post any pillow workout videos. I would like for you to post a
pillow
pillow workout next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had hardwood floor and you had a pillow and you put your feet on the pillow, you could use it as a slider.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like
fun
that.
stuff.
Yeah. And that's too. It's like you do still train people, right? Like outside of speed play or
I
inside.
still do
of,
personal training.
You probably deal just like we do, like people that travel for work, and one of the things that people, obviously this is a very specific population, but like I have to travel for work. I don't have time to get my workout. We were talking about this before, but I don't have meetings, or I have meetings, or I have dinners, and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, you have a half hour today at some point. Like you can get it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are saying they just want the workouts to be given, but I think I'm gonna give a golden nugget to everyone that's listening today. We should do a video together after this to really explain this and drive this home. But you should know how to organize a workout like you and I would organize a workout for a private client. You should understand planes of movements. There's 3 of them, correct? There's sagittal, there's transverse, and then there's frontal, right? So what that basically means is that you push, pull one way, you go sideways, and then you rotate and twist. And if you're able to understand just that alone, you can make up a really good workout. And if you had the system in mind of going really intense for a short burst of time and then recovery and then repeat, rinse and repeat, then you're golden regardless of what you have. So the excuses are gone. Whether you have
I don't like excuses.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I mean, I feel like part of what allows me to continue to push, like, comedy-wise and such, is because I have that discipline from fitness, because I think it can translate to other things. The same people that, make the time to take care of their health, make the time to, work those extra hours, starting their own business, doing whatever it is, whether it's entertainment, whether it's whatever, a lot of successful people, CEOs, they're working 12, 15 hours a day, but they're also still making time for themselves. The good ones, anyway.
The
But,
smart ones. The smart ones.
And I mean, there's just so many parallels, but it's like, you can get it done. It doesn't need, like, for me, I can go to a gym, and I know, and not everyone's a gym person, but I can go just find a gym and be like, okay, I know what I'm going to do today. And I recognize that not everybody has that knowledge, but like, we were talking about when my girlfriend was on the podcast, it's like there's so many things that you have access to online and such. Or like, I mean, you launched an app, right? Is it an app or like a site?
I partnered up with a company called Mega Maze, so I have videos out there.
Okay, yeah. And so it's like stuff that it's like you can do these things. Like there's so many different places that you can access these things. So
there's YouTube. You can
there's YouTube.
Grab a bunch of workouts from YouTube.
Yeah, and you don't need anything. Like you really don't need anything. Like I like the environment of a gym. It just makes it makes a foreign city feel like a little bit more closer to home. I don't get as lonely because it's like, all right, I'm here and you don't, like I said, for me, I'll be there for an hour or two, but like I'm not working out for the 2 hours. Like I'm warming up, I'm cooling down, I'm stretching, I'm foam rolling, I'm doing all these things. But like it's still something that I enjoy doing. Whereas I feel like if someone's traveling, They might want to go to a fancy restaurant or go to an art museum, and those things are all great. But my hobby is when I travel, I just like to see different gyms in different places.
Yeah, I love seeing that
It's
too. I
awesome.
love watching it. And there's so many cool gyms out there now.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's a thing.
hotels, even hotels, if you go to the right hotels, they're getting it correct. You can get a hotel room with a gym installed in it.
Yeah,
TRX videos are there.
a hotel room.
A hotel room, yeah.
I I mean, I'm a comedian, dude. They don't put me in hotel rooms with gyms inside the hotel room.
They don't?
In the hotel room?
Yeah.
Like the
In the room
hotel,
in the room
the
itself.
hotel
In the
maybe.
room itself, it'll have a cycle in the corner, a
Oh, no
stability
way.
ball, maybe a Bosu and a TRX.
Hashtag career goals. Or like The Rock, how he like, well, The Rock is like actually different. I've watched the
Doesn't he
evolution.
bring a whole gym
Oh
with
yeah,
him?
that's what I'm saying. I've watched the evolution of The Rock, and so like maybe even just like 5 or 6 years ago, I think it was part of his writer, but like he would have an elliptical in his hotel room wherever he went. That was like the thing. He had an elliptical inside the hotel room,
Right
and
on.
now it's a whole like he takes his whole freaking gym with him. Like wherever he's on set somewhere, and they set up a replica of his home gym, Iron Paradise, and I'm just like, I don't even want to know how much money that is, but like that's what
I
I
can't
want.
even imagine. That's
That
wild. I know. Do you know Kevin Hart's trainer?
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Hollywood. He know.
Boss
Yeah, yeah.
Ron Boss Everline. He's super cool. He has like a trailer they used to
Uh-huh.
take around to spots, and then they would
That's
train
great.
inside there. And then I think Kevin Hart as a comedian and actor is someone I looked up to because you can always see him hustle. It's long
Of
hours,
course.
and then he still finds the time to be with his family. He still finds time
There's
to
balance.
work out.
He's got stuff all day long. Like I mean it doesn't matter. I mean, kids, Eric was on a couple weeks ago talking about how he balances, his wife and kids in his comedy career. Like he
Mm,
wakes up at 5 o'clock so that he could work out before his wife gets up and goes to work
nice.
because he's home during the day with his kids. And then when she gets back from work, then he goes and does his comedy. But he's already got it in. It's like, I get it. Like, it sucks to maybe wake up at 5 o'clock, but if that's the only hour or whatever that you have, like you got to do it.
Hmm.
Go to sleep a little bit earlier, watch a little bit less TV. We were just talking, you and I, how you don't really watch that much TV,
Yeah,
and
it's been tough to watch some
yeah,
TV.
because you're busy, but you don't neglect your health. Like Xavier's like in amazing shape too. That's also a thing. Uh, I'm not gonna make you get into this, but I get mad when trainers aren't in good shape. It bothers me.
it,
Unless I know
yeah.
that like you have like okay, maybe you have like a thyroid or maybe like you just heaven forbid you just had a baby or something. It's like
Uh-huh.
I get like there's certain factors, but there are a lot of people in the fitness industry that don't practice what they preach.
Oh, absolutely. I hate it when someone's trying to show me a movement that doesn't have mastery of the movement itself. So if they're shaky into a
Oh,
reverse, they're
right?
knocking up, and I've seen this
Of
before
course.
in big box gyms, like
Uh-huh.
new trainers, and
Yeah.
I don't knock them. They've got to start somewhere, but you've got to have some sort of mastery of the movement before you can really teach it,
Yeah. Agreed.
or else you run the risk of injury.
I think too it's like, I went through this as a new trainer. You see like all these people doing these, crazy exercises and whatnot with people, and they look cool. So you want to show like, hey, I want to look cool too. So I'm going to show my clients these. Then I don't have the mastery of it. It's like, maybe that person doesn't actually need to do a one-legged box jump or something,
Yeah.
in the gym. Maybe that person just needs to work on getting their just regular squat first.
Do you got a one-legged box jump? We're gonna do a
Have you
video.
seen my Instagram? I can do a lot of stuff, dude.
Right
I'm
on.
pretty good.
We'll do a video together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll do a video. So everyone listening to this episode right now, you're trying to formulate like, okay, how do I form a workout? What does sagittal plane, all those planes mean? We'll do a video of us busting some stuff, something
Oh,
that's
yeah.
very clear that you can take anywhere.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be great. People will love that.
So look
I
out
would
for
love
that.
that. So I think he was very diplomatic about it, but yeah, you can't be out of shape and be a fitness trainer is what I was trying to get at. You can be out of shape and doing other things, but no excuses. We got that.
Yeah.
So I know you got this new, what's it called? Get Mace?
Mega Mace.
Mega Mace.
Mega Mace. So I partnered up with Mega Mace. It's a great company. He was the guy that started P90X. He was the producer that
Oh, cool.
produced the very first P90X, which is, I think, the best-selling workout DVD out there.
Ever.
If you know Tony Horton,
I don't know who he is. I don't know him
right?
personally.
I think he's like 70, but
Is he
is
really?
incredibly ripped.
That's crazy.
It's wild,
Yeah.
whole different level. So he produced that, and he changed the game with the way that was filmed. And so when he had hired me to do this to disrupt the industry a little bit, he had a different take on filming the workouts. I was so honored, and then you know, and now it's out there. So a lot of the workouts now are for other people, but this brings you into like who I really am and what I do. And I think that's where with social media and everything, uh, not to knock a lot of the social media fitness influencers
We can knock
that
them.
are that are huge.
Because that's one reason why, like, my blog is like, I haven't completely launched it how I want to, but like one of the things is, we deal with a lot of influencers, and
Hmm.
you're like, I'm not gonna name any names. You can go out there, but like, I know there's a couple in particular where I could bet that they probably have eating disorders, or like I see them in class and they're not even doing the workout. Maybe it's because they're weak, or they don't want to push themselves, or maybe it's because they're hungry and they don't have the energy to like
Hmm.
actually do it. But I'm like, how are you an influencer where you're not even going hard, you're not even doing, but then you take a picture and you look cute and you're
You
at
need
the
the right
studio.
lighting, yeah,
Yeah,
the
and
right
then
angles, the right
everyone's like, "Oh,
lighting.
I want to be like this person." I'm like, "No, this person half-assed their whole workout. Like, it bothers me."
Yeah.
When
So
I,
you lose the authenticity, and if you live and breathe it, like at any moment in time, like if you were to explain how to do a squat or do a squat per
mhm.
se, then you're able to execute that correctly. I remember a while back there was an NBC show
Biggest
called
Loser,
Strong. Do you remember this?
Strong.
I think it lasted for one season,
I don't remember Strong.
maybe two. You don't remember NBC?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it came and went. So they had all these popular trainers, and then they had partnered them up with a contestant, and the trainer would train them for a period of time, and then they would go into competition, very similar to Rock's new show,
Uh-huh.
and then they would go against other teams, and then the team that ends up, winning all of the competition ends up winning the prize. Um, anyways, I went to an event for them over at the Grove, and they had invited three really big fitness influencers. So
Uh-huh.
one was Jeanette Jenkins, which is the Hollywood trainer. If you know who she
Uh-huh.
is, she works a lot with Nike and
Yeah,
Apple.
yeah.
She's great.
Uh-huh.
And then Massey Arias, who
Yeah.
has like I don't know how many followers she has now. It's
I
got to
don't
be
know who
like
it is.
2 million plus.
Uh-huh.
Massey Arias is incredible. Look her up.
Okay.
And then they had invited one one person from the Midwest. I don't even remember her name to teach the class. So Jeanette taught 20 minutes. She was fire. Massey Arias,
IE or Y.
I think it's Massy. Try that. Arias.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Take a look at her.
Oh yeah. Oh, wait, that's not. Is that her?
Yeah, that's her right there. That's her real abs, I think.
Real, not genetically or photoshopped
No.
abs.
Take a look at one of her videos, dude. She's so
Oh,
plyometrically inclined.
this looks like that gym in the valley that I want to go to because they have superheroes on the wall.
Yeah. So when she taught her class, she was
Okay.
fire, right?
Okay.
She knew what she was talking about.
Uh huh.
And then this fitness influencer, with a huge following,
From
taught
the
hers, and then it's very clear that she really didn't know what she was talking about and how to
okay.
how to
Right.
lead a class. But all these followers, looked up to her, and it works. You can still inspire people, but
Right.
it will be revealed when you're in front of like real people,
Right.
right? So I mean, she was doing a workout where it was crunch, and then she kept looking at her phone to look at what's the next
Oh
exercise, and
no.
then she would do another crunch, and then like next exercise, let's do a sit up, and it was like let's throw in
Oh
some
no.
variety and things like that.
You got to have that rehearsed ahead of time,
Yeah, yeah. Looks
right?
like she wasn't prepared,
Wouldn't you?
but
I
she
mean,
had a huge following.
I already know the answer, but like, if you knew you were doing an event like that, wouldn't you like have it in the back of your head before you went out there?
Yeah,
You would.
yeah. Or maybe she had a string of events that she had to go to
Yeah.
the same way. But it's up to the consumer now to really do some due diligence to see
Yeah.
where they're from, because the old school guys that are incredibly smart. I know the smartest people in the world that are trainers that have no personality, so
For sure.
they can't pull in followers that way. And they have the people that can do the backflips that'll pull a lot of followers, but they don't have the
Right.
education behind it. And you can kind of bleed into both. But it's important that consumers now, because there's just so much static out there, that we do our due diligence on who these people are.
Yeah, I like that. Get to the bottom of who they are.
Yeah, yeah. Do a little research.
Xavier's trying to tell you what I've been kind of saying is that there's a lot of phony fitness, quote unquote, influencers out there.
Yeah.
So okay, I can give speed play praises all day and stuff, but
Thank you.
what are some other places in LA, or what other places like that you've been? Maybe like another across the country, or like you were just overseas and doing like
Yeah.
a bunch of workout stuff in. Were you in Thailand?
I was in the Philippines.
Philippines. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was incredible to see what the Philippines is doing as far as the boutique scene. So I think a lot of people don't understand that there's this whole different side of fitness. There's the big box gyms that you know so well, Equinox, LA Fitness, all of those, right?
LA
Gold's
Fitness.
Gym, LA Fitness. And then you have this boutique world that, once you live in LA, New York, and some of the big major markets, you don't understand like what's boutique fitness. And
Right.
it's these really specialized studios that are really amazingly good at one thing. It's not a watered down version of stuff. So for example, if you became an amazing trainer at HIIT and you were working in a big box gym and you started your own studio, that's your baby. That's what you're so good at. And so you breathe life into it. So
Right.
the boutique scene is a little different. So because we are in the boutique scene, I've been paying attention to a lot of what these people like. I like personalities more, so I tend to go with the trainers and the owners and the people that started and founded these
Right.
companies. Like Luke Milton is I'm a fan. Like I wouldn't train like him. You know him from Training Mate. He created Training Mate.
He's the Aussie guy.
Oh yeah, he's the
Yeah.
Aussie guy. I mean, like ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Like just comedy over the top, short shorts.
Is he
and
funnier than
try
me?
to-
I feel like he's not.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
No.
You're holding a gun to me right now. Yeah, so I follow guys like that. Training Mate is great. It's more of a high intensity. It's one of those systems where you've got a bunch of exercises set up, and then you go through circuits.
Uh-huh.
See, what else am I in love with right now?
What do you like to do for yourself?
Great, that's a great question.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause you're in amazing
constantly
shape.
I'm constantly moving.
Uh-huh.
At this point, I work out on camera just so to maximize my time,
Uh-huh.
and I cue as well. So if you were to break down the way I train, it would be 3 times a week, only 25 minutes of high intensity interval training,
That's crazy.
and 1 day of heavy strength training, which is 5 reps below. I'm talking about the biggest bang for your buck exercises like deadlift,
Uh-huh.
Cleans, yeah,
All the CrossFit
push
stuff.
press, chest press, things like that, just to
Uh-huh.
keep my strength and to keep my size. But I don't work out a lot. That being said, I'm moving. I mean, from the time I wake up to
Yeah.
the time I go to bed.
You walk a lot too, like me.
I walk a lot. I'm in downtown. I live,
Yeah.
work, and play in downtown. So
I walk since I live close to everywhere I need to. Like I walk probably like 10 or 12 miles every day,
yeah,
and it's like the best.
and I don't do anything else. So if I do book another gig, it's all fitness related,
Uh-huh.
right? Another big thing I've been doing is these big immersive experiences, these pop-up workouts that I'm really trying to work on. And like even the business aspect of all of that is you're always moving, trying to figure things out.
Okay. And as far as like when you're on the road, you eat pretty well. You have to because you're just in good shape. But like you are also a person that like will not deprive yourself. When I always see like you'll make funny videos about like, oh, there's a cupcake or there's ice cream or there's like a
Yeah.
this. And it's like you still have the things that you enjoy.
I was in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I had to go into the McDonald's because if you know anything about the McDonald's
Oh,
in the
right.
Philippines,
Or
there's-
anywhere
you made a
else.
comment on this.
Yeah.
They have spaghetti. It's the most delicious spaghetti
Oh, I
I've
did.
ever tasted.
You had spaghetti at McDonald's, right?
Yeah,
But it was like, wasn't it like
it was like
ketchup?
99 pesos, which equates like 50 cents, or I don't know what the conversion is really, but it's just spaghetti, a really sweet red sauce, hot dog,
Oh.
and what I hope I was wishing was real cheese. So like this,
Your,
like,
what do you think the hot dog was from? You think that was real pork?
I hope it was.
At
And
McDonald's?
before that, I was walking around the ghettos of Philippines,
Uh-huh.
right, which is just like outside of where I was staying, and then I saw like dogs in cages, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that can't be,
I mean, it
and
might be.
it might be, but no, I don't think McDonald's rolls that way. It is absolutely delicious, but it's not how my life revolves around. But like, I'm not gonna turn it down. That's just like
Yeah, you're in the
one-off
Philippines.
thing, and
You
you're
got to
there.
exactly, and that's
So
the thing. It's like, yeah, like when I'm on the road, I eat well. You know, I try my best. But like, if there's a place like I was in when I was in Nashville, everyone was like, you have to go to Gus's Fried Chicken
mm,
because it's like it was like they started it. I think they franchised, and there's one somewhere in Burbank, I think. But like, I was like, I couldn't tell you the last time I had fried chicken, but like so many people told me I had to go here. So I was like, okay. And I went and I had this fried chicken and it was so good. It was delicious. It was like spicy and then they had like some I feel like I might have had macaroni and cheese or something, but it's like, okay, I'm in Nashville or not Nashville, Memphis. I'm sorry. I was in Memphis. Um, and I was like, okay, but it is what it is. I had it here. I experienced it, and now I'll get back to my regular scheduled programs. But I think the problem is that people eat stuff like that all the time,
right.
and that's not good.
Yeah. No bueno.
So yeah, if you eat well, the majority of the time you're allowed to treat yourself here and there.
Yeah.
But I just think that like like I'm in like a couple of like fitness accountability groups that I just kind of volunteered that my friend were doing, and like I'll be in here for
Right
like
on.
to motivate you guys, and I'll see like, oh yeah, I fell off the wagon today, and I fell off and it's like it's a lot of people that they don't eat well most of the time. It's more of the opposite. And then when they eat a healthy meal, like they feel good, and it's like, yeah, of course, but like it's gotta be more of a habit. Like
Well, yeah. Well, we forget how hard that is,
for sure,
because it's so in us. Like, you have to work out. I have to work out.
yeah,
I have to get nutrients, nutritious foods. I have to not eat like bad stuff.
right,
But it's hard for people that have like built that habit to try to, and it's just like anything. You have to be. I like telling my private clients this, and even trainers in the fitness industry, that you got to be the CEO of your own body. You got to take control of everything. I mean, there's no excuses,
right,
right? You got to understand what's going on, what's keeping you this way, and what's heading you down this path. And you got to put it in its tracks. You've got to find the right goal, the right blueprint, and then you've got to just be ridiculously selfish about it. You've just got to do it over and over again. If you fall off, get back up and do it
yeah.
over and over again.
I'm selfish as shit when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just have, and I don't think I have to apologize for it, but I think some people feel guilty about being selfish. You know, Tim Grover, who I love. I don't know, you know Tim Grover. He's the guy. He trained like Kobe and MJ and Dwayne Wade, like a lot of professional athletes, and he talks about that too. It's like, you know, if you want to taking care of your family, you know, taking time to work out isn't neglecting your family. It's actually helping them because it's assuring that you're going to be healthy enough to be around for them later on in life. So
Absolutely.
don't feel bad about being selfish. It's actually being selfless. It would be selfish to sabotage yourself, and then you're not around later on in life when they need you, or you know
Yeah.
whatever it might be. So
Yeah.
I like that. Do you have anything coming up exciting that people? I know you're doing the Propel thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty
If you
cool.
guys, if anybody, if you guys are in town, July 2021, I'll be at the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica for the
Uh-huh.
Propel Fitness Festival. The Propel Fitness Festival, they put it up once a year, and
Uh-huh.
it's I can only explain it as the Coachella, like a music festival, but for
It's a
fitness.
lot of influencer types that
Yeah,
go,
and
but
then they're bringing in some of the top studios around the nation in one place. So they've got Atkins Army from New York. You know this guy? He's really popular from New York City. He'll be teaching a class there, so you get to experience his
uh-huh.
class. Luke
Oh,
Milton of
okay.
Training Mate's gonna be there. Um,
You're gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was invited there again.
I'm always out of town when it happens. I think they do
How
it.
dare you?
I think they do it on purpose. I'm always like, they look at my calendar and my road dates. They're like, "Oh, Peter's out of town this weekend," because it's usually like in May, right?
Yeah,
I feel
they
like it's
pushed it
been.
back. They pushed
I
it
feel like
back.
it's been
It's
in May
July
the last couple
2021 now.
years, and I was like, "Oh, cool, it's later on." And then of course I went, and I was like, "Of course, the weekend I'm gone again."
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, free electrolytes, free propel
Yeah,
water, and good workouts.
there's like I mean, I think you can be there all day. I mean, I don't advise that because then that's just not.
You got to balance it out. So
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of yoga sessions and there's a lot of the recovery
Uh huh.
stations. So you would have to balance it out. But yeah, there's just people that are ridiculous. They'll take 4 classes
Yeah, that's a
in
little
a
much.
day, and if they take my class as the fourth class, it's
Silly.
like they're like, what the?
Yeah, take Xavier's class first because that's probably going to be the hardest one.
Yeah, it'll be high
Are you
intensity
do
interval
you have like
training.
do you know if you're going to be with like a DJ or something that day, or do you bring in your own person? Or
They're still trying to figure things out.
okay,
So it's getting close to showtime. But I think I'll be playing my own music
yeah, that's the
this time
best.
around. Yeah,
No, and
I'm so
I know
connected to the music right now.
Triana had to be with and I'm not going to name the artist, but it just wasn't.
Yeah,
It was weird.
it was
I heard
interesting
I
to see those.
wasn't there, but I've heard from several people. It's just a weird
But yeah,
experience.
for the folks listening, it's you would have Ludacris performing live
Yeah,
while
while you're
Nicole
working out.
Winhofer was doing her set
Uh huh.
teaching. And Nicole Winhofer is a dance instructor, so it kind of works out well.
Yeah.
And a lot of these big artists, you can't talk over,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
so you can't
And that's the
cue.
thing. So it's like you can't say, okay, like tighten your abs, squeeze your quads, or whatever, like because the person is singing, and you're just like, okay, it's kind of weird. So I think that's the best
And
is
you
to
have to
have.
balance it. I had oh Jesus, I'm spacing on the name. A big time DJ was
Yeah, I don't know DJs, but yeah, I
you
remember
know
you had
DJs,
DJs.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was great. That was easy because I could talk over the music.
Right, because the DJ's not saying anything; they're just playing music, and it's
Yeah.
like they can do whatever they want, but you're still on the mic.
Mark Ronson.
Mark
Oh, he's
Ronson.
amazing. Mark Ronson. I
Oh,
geeked out.
oh wow.
Yeah.
I only know who he is now, but yeah, that makes sense. He's huge now.
Yeah.
He was probably huge then. I just didn't realize because
Yeah.
I'm like old, but yeah, he's like huge now.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Okay.
And so like expect live artists like that
Yeah.
and good fitness.
It's a cool, yeah. I think honestly, it's a great event. If there's like different places that maybe you wanted to try in LA and weren't sure about or whatever, do that. And you're also just going to be around like-minded people that are just into fitness because I feel like that's important too. Like a lot of the studios in here, any city, are more just about the community and kind of being in it with people to help have a support group because that's a big thing. You know, if you can't hold yourself accountable, you have a group of friends or a community of people that are like, okay, yeah, we're here, we saw you, good for
Yeah.
you, like blah blah blah. You know, I think that's a big important thing. And it helps you find something that you like, which I've been trying to tell to people is like you don't have to go to a gym, you don't have to go to a boxing studio. You don't. If you find something that you like, do that. But if you don't try different things, you're not going to know what you like.
Absolutely.
Dude, Xavier, thank you so much for hopping on today. What's your Instagram handle?
It's my first and last name at Xavier Quimbo.
Not Quintero.
Not Quintero. Quimb
Uh-huh.
as in boy. O.
And are you on Twitter,
No. No, I don't.
Facebook, and Instagram? You're not
Yeah.
maxed out on Facebook?
Yeah, you can check us out at speedplayla.com.
Speedplayla.com. It's in downtown. If you're near downtown, it's definitely worth it. It's a great workout with the Woodway curve, which I love, and the C2 rowers, and just a great thing, honestly.
Yeah. Really efficient workout if your goal is to be lean.
Super efficient, or just shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like in the
Shredded's
best shape.
good. Shredded's a good
Yeah,
look.
It's a good look, especially on camera. Love it. The camera adds 10 pounds. You want to look fucking shredded. Cool, man. Well, thank you so much. Follow Xavier. Very insightful. Very, like I said, passionate about fitness. He's not a faker, you know, like some of these other people are. He knows his stuff and he's passionate about it. So, and also, if you're in LA, come take his class. And thanks for listening to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. When you hear this, come to see me at the Ontario Improv July 2nd. That's all. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.